Hello everyone, welcome back to our subject Web Technology. Today we are moving to unit number 2, CSS and client-side scripting. Okay, so first of this unit covers styling about the HTML document and remaining validating the web pages. Okay, so we could validate in two ways, either at the client side and the or at the server side. So in this unit we will be going to concentrate on client side scripting. Okay, then in today we are going to see an introduction to CSS. So that's nothing but cascading style sheet and its features and core syntax. Okay, quite interesting topic this one, and we'll get into this topic directly. Okay, so here today we are going to discuss about these topics. Okay, so definition of CSS and its role, and viewing the websites before CSS and after CSS, its features and core syntax. Apart from that, we are going to see something about the colors and selectors. Okay, so let's have a formal definition of CSS. CSS is nothing but a style sheet, a style language. Okay, style sheet language. It's a language. Okay, it stands for cascading style sheet. Oops. CSS is a cascading style sheet, which is a style sheet language that is used to describe the presentation of your web page. Okay, so normally in the previous unit we have seen about HTML, is it not? So in HTML we have learned about many things, its elements, list, table, frames, forms. Okay, many things about HTML we have seen. So those things are displayed in a static manner, which doesn't have any presentable look. Those HTML elements we could make it more presentable. Okay, using the style sheet language called as CSS. Okay, so mainly CSS won't do anything with the content. Instead it will make a look and good feel of that content. Okay, I'll take you to a page which is designed with the HTML alone, and the same for that same page when CSS is applied, how the page looks. Okay, so with that you could differentiate why CSS plays an important role in designing a web page. Okay, so CSS is mainly used to separate the presentation from the main content of the web page. Okay, so some of the examples what we could do in CSS is to alter the font size, color, etc. Then spacing between the contents, and you can display the content in different columns. You could add animations and some other text decorative features. A lot of things are there. Okay, so we'll see one by one in the forthcoming topics. Today we are going to see the introduction part, its features and core syntax of CSS. Okay, before jumping into the syntax part, let me take you to this site and you will get to know what CSS is. Okay, so far we have learned something about designing a web page, something like this. Okay, see here some heading page, heading element is here. This is of again heading and some paragraph and some, I think you will be knowing this one is of anchor element. Okay, links are attached. So that's it, nothing more than that. Okay, the same page when we apply CSS, it looks like this, more attractive. See here, by default the HTML has its own font size, style, is it not? Okay, so if we want to make a change, means we can't do it in a HTML directly, so we need to apply the style sheet language called as CSS. So there comes CSS. Okay, the same, nothing is changed. You can compare both the pages, so nothing is changed, but it looks very attractive because of CSS. Okay, I'll take you to this site. See here, cssgengordon.com. Okay, so the same site. So the content is same. So for the same content there are a lot of authors who have designed in different view. Okay, I'll take you to mid-century modern. Okay, the content is same, but the display, it is designed in a separate in a different presentable manner. Okay, so look at here, see here, the content all are same. and I'll take you few other styles also, garments. Okay, the beauty of CSS design. Okay, so the content is same, but the display, the presentation of that content varies from one author by the other author. Okay, CSS Gen Garden, the beauty of CSS design. Okay, this is, so if time permits, take a look of all the different designs. Okay, so this is possible by means of CSS. Okay, so that's the topic we are going to see. Okay, why we need CSS, why we need, yeah, you're right. So to make the web page more attractive, okay, user friendly. Okay, it is like it plays a role of adjective. Okay, so adjective is used to describe something in to describe something, is it not? So here CSS plays this HTML page, it designs this HTML page in a very elegant manner. Okay, the display is very nice. Okay, very attractive for the user. Okay, so how to achieve it? So let's have an introduction. Okay, how to use CSS. Okay, so CSS will be styling the document in a separate file, and that file is linked to the HTML document. Okay, so everybody is aware of this is a HTML document, is it not? So here, so in the heading you will be knowing the title, and you'll be closing it. So apart from that, we have one more element called as link. So using this link only, we will be attaching the styles to this document. Okay, this document is of what? So body, paragraph, hello world, is it not? So hello world only it is displayed. Okay, so see here, now we'll moving to the heading part. So in the header section, what we are doing, link element is used to attach the CSS file in this document. Okay, link, the attribute should be within the code's style sheet, type is of text slash CSS, and H reference, here you will be mentioning the external file. Okay, our style sheet. So we will be writing a code, and you will be styling the HTML document in a separate file, and we will be saving it in the name as file.css. So the extension of that CSS file is .css. Okay, not .html. So this file is saved in the name of .html, whereas style sheet will be, please remember, style sheet will be saved in the file name as .css. Okay, and we have two style sheets. This is one example. There is a file called as style1.css, whose title we are giving style1, and the relationship, this is rel, this is nothing but relationship. Okay, this the relationship of this file is style sheet, not JavaScript or something. So this is style sheet, type is equal to text CSS, H reference is style1. So this is generally we will be using it. So here the alternate style sheet is also given. It means this page can take n number of styles, different styles, as we have seen in this picture. The same content that has designed in one style, and the other style, different styles we have seen, no? So likewise we can have n number of styles for a single page that could be linked in this document via the relationship is equal to alternate style sheet. Okay, and the CSS file here. Okay, so by default this will be displayed, and we could change that display using by selecting this title style too. Okay, I'll take you I think we have output of this coding in the next slide, we will see. Okay, so only thing you have to remember is link element. Okay, to include a style sheet in your HTML file, you need to depend on link. Okay, link element, that too you have to specify within the header part. Okay, and in the body we have one paragraph just as a hello world. Okay, now we need to concentrate on this file style1.css and style2.css. Okay, so here comes in your text editor, type this coding and save the file as css hello world.html. Okay, and open a new file in the same text editor and save the file as style1.css. okay. So and inside this file have this two lines. okay. The content of this file is body, open and close curly braces, background hyphen color is line. Before that we have the colon and paragraph. okay. P is a paragraph element. Within the curly braces we are defining the style rules. Font size is extra large, background color is yellow. okay. So this is said to be a style rule. okay. Now I will take you to the syntax of this CSS in detail in the forthcoming slides. Just remember these two lines are present in style1.css. So here we are changing the body background as line and font of that paragraph hello world to be extra large and its background to be yellow. okay. And in style2.css another file. okay. In the text editor open a new file and and have the name as style2.css and have this line. The paragraph font size is of smaller in size and letter spacing is 1 em. okay. So I will take you the explanation of 1 em in the forthcoming topics, not in this topic. So just remember there is a style rule something like this alone. okay. This explanation I will give you in the forthcoming topics. okay. That's it. We have totally 3 files. One is a HTML file and 2 CSS file. So style1.css and style2.css. okay. So I have executed this in the IE Internet Explorer. See here while executing it takes the preferred style. So what's that preferred style is style1.css and style2.css is alternate style sheet, is it not? So when we execute, what's happening, this is the body part. okay. The whole body part is changed to lime. So this is lime color, the green color, no, this is lime. And font. okay. So font size is hello world for the paragraph. Font size is extra large, its background is yellow in color. okay. And we could change this style. okay. So how to change this style in IE is in the view, go to style. We have defined two styles. no, default is style1. This is the title, it gets displayed. So in the previous link element we have given the title as style1 and style2. so that gets displayed here. By default this is the preferred style, and if we click this style2, this is the output we will get it. okay. Why we get this output? Because we have styled only the font, only the paragraph whose font size is smaller and space between the elements is of 1 em. okay. There is a space here. So that is letter spacing. The space between the letters is of 1 em. So em is empirical unit. okay. So that explanation I will give you in the later part. okay. So this is how we need to define the style sheet and how to link it in our HTML file. okay. And coming to the features of the CSS. okay. The main feature is while linking that HTML, while linking that CSS file, we could mention the media. okay. So media, it says, so the page which we have designed, the target media. okay. So target media are the device. It means that page is designed for this it is mainly optimized for this categories of media. okay. So media can take any of these values. okay. So here different media, this for this attribute we have different medias. I have different values. I have mentioned screen, TV, projection. okay. So these devices will be optimized. okay. It means the display will be very nice and pretty. okay. So here the media is handheld devices or printer, something like that it is given. okay. So we have an option in the CSS to mention the media attribute that defines the type of the media that has been optimized, the page has been optimized. We can pick any one of these media values here. okay. And the next feature is style sheet is relatively easy. Why it is easy? Because we could for example, if we want to have a header element h1, that should be designed in one way. Okay, so and if a web page consists of 4 or 5 h1 element, means it's difficult to it is difficult to give the same specification each and every time, is it not? Using the CSS, just define it only once, the style for h1, and all the h1 in that web page will be displayed in this style. Okay, so it is easy. Okay, so to give all the elements in a web page a consistent appearance, for example, if we want all the header h1 headers on a page to have a certain style, we can accomplish it. And the later part, if we wish to change some of the style in this header one, means just go and change in the CSS file. Okay, that will reflect the entire h1 of this web page. Okay, so later when we wish to change some style, means we could change it in the CSS file. Okay, so that gets reflected to the entire web page. And one more feature is the document author. Document author means the web developer, and the person viewing the document, it means the web user. Okay, what's it, can specify aspects of the document style as it is displayed by the browser. It means the developer can have their own way of styling, and the user who views that page can have can have the option to display that web page in his preferred manner. Okay, for example, the person who is having eyesight issues, and if the page is displayed in a high contrast color, means that may not be pleasable for the person who have eyesight issues. Okay, so he could change the document style. Okay, so that is possible by means of CSS. Okay, so these are some of the features of CSS. And now we will be moving on to the main part of CSS, how to what's the syntax of CSS. Okay, so please pay close attention, because this is completely new for you, and I'll explain the syntax. That's quite easy and interesting. Okay, see here, the syntax is this one, selector. Selector is nothing but any HTML element. For which HTML element we need to apply the style, either for the paragraph or h1 or the anchor element, any HTML element. Followed by we have the property value. Okay, so property, what we need to do for the paragraph, whether we need to change the paragraph background color, or the text color of the paragraph, or the font size. So that's the property and its respective value. So if it is background color, means what's its value, either blue, black, white, or something like that. So we could mention n number of property value pairs, and each is separated by semicolon. Okay, and also the property and value is separated by colon. Okay, this is the syntax of it, and each and every term has its own name. So here one example paragraph. P stands for the paragraph element. This one we are saying as a selector string, followed by open and close curly brace. Okay, we have to define it within this open and close curly braces. And we have these property names. This is the property name, and it is this value. Okay, the thing which we are defining, these things are within the declaration block. This is said to be, the entire part is said to be declaration part. Okay, and this is the declaration of property names and values. Okay, the whole thing is said to be the style rule. Okay, this is how we need to define the syntax for HTML elements. Okay, so here we have given one example, h1. Okay, h1 is an element, heading element, whose color is purple. I hope you are all following with me. The color is the property name, colon, some colors. Okay, and each and every declaration should have a semicolon. And next, font size is of 56 pixel. The only thing that troubles you is you may not be aware of the property names. Okay, only by experience you will get what are all the property names and its respective values. Okay, so here for simplicity we have given two property names, color and font size, and its respective values. Okay, so you go and explore this in your text editor. Okay, and one more example, image, img, image element whose border color is of red and border width is of 3 pixels. Okay, so this is the core syntax of CSS, and apart from that we have n number of ways of defining the selector strings. Okay, so we have seen only one thing. Okay, so single element type, single element means single HTML element, paragraph and its a declaration, is it not? So, and if we want to repeat this for n number of element means that could be separated by comma. For example, for multiple element selectors, so we have h1, h2, h3, so all the heading elements background color is purple. Okay, this is also a valid syntax of CSS. And one more, all element types. Okay, universal selector, it means star. So star within the curly braces you will be giving the styles. It indicates that web page has an HTML elements, is it not? All the HTML element in that particular web page will go this style. Okay, all the HTML elements font weight will be bold. Okay, and specific elements by ID. So it means for example, when we design a web page, we may not be stopped by only one paragraph. That web page may consist of n number of paragraphs by using the paragraph element, is it not? And what if we wish to design one style for one paragraph and the other style for the second paragraph? So that could be achieved by mentioning the paragraph with ID. Okay, so while designing the HTML page, we have to specifically mention that paragraph with ID, and for that ID we can style it. Okay, so I'll take you to the example, then only it will make you clear this ID and the class selector. So just remember its syntax. When we define the element by ID, so in CSS file that ID has to be prefixed by pound symbol. Okay, so this is pound or hash p1, so this is the ID name, and one more ID hash p3. So for this two IDs I am setting the background color to be something some color aqua. And class selector, so class selector is so here this is for specific ID, specific element. Okay, so class selector means I can apply for n number of elements. Okay, so the class selectors will have its definition in the CSS by means of dot. Okay, dot, take note, this is the class. Okay, and followed by its CSS style, and the same style is applied for this ID also. Okay, so this one I will take you to the example, then only it will make you clear. And one more, you get to know the selector string. Okay, so in this order. Okay, I hope you will be knowing these HTML elements: unordered list, ordered list, list item, letter spacing is 1 em. What does it mean? List item which follows this order. Okay, the list item for any list item which is under OL, and that OL which is under UL will apply this style. Okay, so this rule applies to list item that is part of OL element, which is again the part of UL element. So this style will won't be applied to list item alone, this style won't be applied to UL element alone. So this will be applied only when we have the list item which is within OL and where OL is within the unordered list. Okay, so this way is said to be descendant selector. Okay, and okay, the main three things we will be concentrating on: HTML element, ID and class. Okay, so how to define CSS using these selectors. Okay, so element selector is simply HTML element. Okay, so consider this is your HTML page. I am giving the part of the HTML page. You will be having the root element HTML, then header section, followed by the body. Inside the body, body content only I have given, I haven't given the complete program. Inside the body the content is like this. So there is a new element called as div. It is used to provide the section. Okay, so nothing more than that. Okay, it's like a wrapper element. Okay, what it says means inside the div we have two paragraph, so this two paragraph will be enclosed in as an one section, that's the meaning. And here, so it means this div we can apply one style, and this div we can apply one style. So this if we apply a style for this div means that style will be applied to its content, to this two paragraph element. So it is just mainly to provide the section. Okay, so division of the contents. Okay, we have two div elements with two paragraphs inside, and here I am giving here the CSS. Okay, this should be present in the separate file. So this is a part of HTML and this is part of CSS file. Okay, don't confuse it. So here what I am doing, so div, so generally I am taking div elements. So div means it will refer to both this div and this div also. Okay, so I am making the all div to be its background to be purple. Okay, and the all the paragraphs should be its color means the text color, not the background. The color of the paragraph is yellow. Okay, so when we execute, this is the output of this program. Okay, so two sections are there, two divs are there whose background is changed to purple because of this style, and paragraph color is changed to yellow. Okay, I hope you are following with me. This is element selector. Element selector means this is an element. Okay, one HTML element. This is one HTML element. So this is the way of defining the syntax for elements. Okay, HTML elements. Now moving on to ID selector. So as I told you, ID means specifically you can give a style for a single element. Okay, so the same program is repeated here with one change in the second div. Paragraph ID is equal to special. So this paragraph element has an ID is equal to some name we can give within the double quotes. I am giving here as special, and the core concept behind this is I am going to style only this paragraph. What happens if I style in the previous example I have styled P. P should be of color yellow. It means all the four paragraph takes this style, is it not? So what if I wish to change only the one paragraph in a single web page? Then there comes the concept of ID. Okay, so ID selectors. Okay, so here this is the syntax of defining the ID. Okay, so I am giving the ID name for this paragraph and I am going to style it. Okay, so the background color of the div is purple. It means all the div in this particular page will be background color purple, and this is how we need to define the styles when we have the ID selector. So when we mention an element with ID is equal to special in the CSS file. Okay, so this file, these two lines are present in a separate file called as styleid.css, and this content is present in one more HTML file. This is HTML file, this is one CSS file, and we need to link this styleid.css in this HTML header file using link element. Okay, so here division is purple and hash. Okay, so our pound symbol it need to prefix with this ID name. Okay, so how to define the ID selector means hash and the ID name color is equal to yellow. It means this color will special. Okay, so this special will be applied only to this paragraph. This style will be applied only to this paragraph. That's how in this output we get this fourth paragraph alone as the yellow color, and the remaining text color is to be default paragraph black color. Okay, so hope you are following with me. So ID selector is used to select an element, only one element, and we can style that element. Okay, if we run n number of same element means, and if we wish to apply a style for only one element means, we can go for mentioning that element with ID value as like this. Okay, and moving on to class selector. Okay, so this is mainly to select all elements within a given class. Okay, so with an example you will get it clear. The same example is followed with in the first div we have P paragraph class equal to highlight, and in the second division first paragraph class equal to highlight. It means what, when we design a style for highlight, this will be applied to this paragraph and this paragraph. Okay, so whereas in id means that id will be applied to that element alone, whereas class, if we mention that class means that will be applied to all the elements wherever we have mentioned the class name. Okay, so here in division, first division, first paragraph has this class equal to highlight, and in second division the first paragraph class equal to highlight. And what we are doing in this style, so division, for this element division, background color is purple and highlight dot. Okay, so please make a note, for id we need to use the hash id name, and for defining the style for class selector we need to use the dot. Okay, dot the class name. Okay, so dot class name. Okay, and background is yellow. It means what, this yellow color will be applied to this highlight wherever we are mentioning it in the web page. Okay, so here two classes will take that, sorry, two paragraph will apply that style, highlight style. Okay, so hope you got the output, why the background color of this paragraph 1 is yellow and the second division's paragraph background is yellow. And here default all the divisions will be of background color purple, and it overrides, that is overridden by this class selector. Okay, so class selector will be prefixed by dot. Okay, dot class name. Okay, so the core purpose of class selector is that we can apply this style for a number of elements. Okay, so by mentioning that element with the class equal to that class name. And next, some more styles. Okay, so here what's happening, it's not necessary to have only one class name for an element, we can have n number of class name. So that's the example given here. Okay, so in a web page we have a span element and class equal to, it takes these many classes. Okay, so previously we have seen only one class as highlight. So likewise, if we define three classes means all the three class style can be applied to single element also, like this take note is one class, special is one class, and cool is one class. So all the three, inside each and every class will be defining some style. All these styles will be applied to this element span. Okay, the span belongs to three style classes, that's the meaning. So and next one is elements of a certain type and class. What does it mean? Span dot special, this is the css. Okay, don't confuse it, this is the html file and this is the css file. So inside the css file what we are doing, so span dot special, so we could blindly say that dot special means it's a class name. Okay, not id, it's a class selector, the class selector, that too specific for span. Okay, span dot special. Okay, this special won't be applied to all the elements, instead this rule applied to span belong to the class special. Okay, hope you are following with me, so don't confuse it. What's the style it's given here, font size to be x large. What does it mean? This style applies to span belonging to class special. Okay, so we may have n number of spans in a web page, but a span that has a class special alone has this style applied. Okay, so not all the span elements will take this style font size as extra large, only the span element that has a class special will take this style. So that is one way of having the css style for the elements, html elements, and the other one special styles for the anchor element. Okay, so there are some pseudo classes. Pseudo class means the already predefined styles are already predefined styles are given. Okay, so like a link. Okay, so we cannot change these names, a link, visited, hover, active. So okay, so pseudo class are nothing but classes that are associated with html element, mainly for anchor element that which has the href attribute. For example, if we give the anchor element, so what's happening, at the very first time the hyperlink we usually see as blue color, is it not? When we click, the color gets changed, is it not? So those things we can control it by having these pseudo classes. a colon link. So link color by default what we need to give. So by default it's in blue color. We can change it to black. And visited, once if that link is visited, change it to yellow. And hover means moving the mouse over that link. At that time the color should be green. And active in the sense, when we click it and we didn't raise it up, just click has been made, okay, we didn't release that click. So during that time that is said to be active. So while clicking the mouse, so what's the color of that link? So these things we could change it, okay. I'll take you for this one demo. See here I have some HTML content is displayed. Don't bother about these things, we will concentrate on this element alone, okay. A reference google.com, the link is google, it's taking me to google.com, and the link hyperlink is google, okay. So see here the main thing, in HTML file we need to link that CSS, okay, style1.css I have defined. So that will be mentioned in this attribute hrefs, and relationship is style sheet, type is text/css, okay. So go to that style1.css, it's a separate file, and you concentrate on this part alone, okay. What's happening, a colon hover means when we move the mouse over that link, okay, the color is green. And active means when I click, the color changes to orange, okay. So for that I'll take you to the demo. Oops, I need to execute that HTML file, not the CSS, okay. Go to HTML and execute it. Okay, so many things are there, just concentrate here alone. So what we are, I'll take you to that CSS, okay. CSS file is there and my output is here. So here hover over, so okay, hover means moving the mouse over. See here, do you able to differentiate? I didn't click it, just mouse is moved over that link, okay. It's changed to color green, okay. And look, now I am going to click and I am not releasing it, and look at the color. So I didn't release it, so it is not taking me to the google.com because I didn't release that click, okay. So when the link is inactive, so that time it is orange. And see, now I am going to release the link. After releasing the link, it is taking me to that google.com, okay. Yes, that's it about the pseudo class. And one more about CSS syntax is at rules, okay. So far we have seen rule set syntax. Rule set syntax means within the curly braces we will be declaring the property name and its value, okay. The another way is if you define a CSS file, and that style we need to import it to some other HTML file, means we can do it using the at rule. So the syntax is at import URL that no, what's this, that location, whether either that could be absolute or the relative address, okay. Some file, okay, this file I have already defined, and that file I am going to include it in my current HTML page, means I can do it by means of at import and space URL. Within the parenthesis we could mention that absolute or relative file names here, okay. So it reads the style rules from the specified URL. It should first appear at the beginning of the style sheet, okay. Please remember, it must appear at the beginning, not in the middle or at the end, okay. And definitely that import statement should that rule should end with semicolon, okay. So this way also we can import CSS style from CSS style which is defined in one file to the other HTML page, okay. And some more topics that covers beyond the syllabus is, I think we have seen that star universal selector, okay. So it applies to the all the HTML elements in a web page, okay. So basically this is not we should avoid styling this way of applying universal selectors. Okay, so it is fine to have a quick test. Okay, never use it in the production code. Okay, why means it adds too much weight to the browser, because each and every HTML element will have this style. Okay, this is start symbol. I think I misspelled over here, please correct it. Start symbol. And descendant selector. So descendant selector means in the order it should follow. Okay, to be more specific. So anchor, so previously we have seen anchor, but here in this example the anchor which is present in the li element, only this style will be applied. Okay, not all the anchor elements. So the anchor element which is present inside the list item, so that alone the color of the anchor element has been changed to red. And adjacent selector, what that adjacent selector is, select only the element that is immediately preceded by the former element. So might be quite confusing for you. I will take you to the demo. So here what does it mean? UL plus P, within the curly braces we are defining the style rule. Okay, so what does it mean? UL, unordered list. After unordered list, if I have a paragraph element, that paragraph will apply this style. That's the meaning of adjacent selector. Select only the element that is immediately preceded by the former element. Select only the element that is preceded by the formal element. It means what? So in a web page I will be having a number of UI elements, paragraphs, many things will be there. So this style will be applied only to the paragraph that is immediately preceded by this UI UL unordered list. Okay, so the same example I will take you. See here the style sheet 1.html, where see here concentrate this part alone. Okay, so this part, the highlighted part alone. So I have the UL unordered list item 1 2, and followed by that unordered list I have the paragraph hello again, and after that I am having one more UL element, is it not? Vowels and consonants, I have some list items followed by H3. Okay, so what will happen? I need to I need to give the style, is it not? Go to style1.css, what I am giving. So the paragraph which is immediately preceded by UL have the color blue. Okay, so I think I have some other paragraph also. So here one paragraph and here one paragraph. Okay, so for this paragraph hello world, that style won't be applied, because I am applying the style UL plus P, is it not? So it means what? The paragraph will apply that style color red, which is immediately preceded by this UL. Okay, let's take a quick demo on that execution of that program. See here. Okay, hello world, the remaining paragraph style is applied, the background is yellow, but think look at this is one paragraph, this is one paragraph, this paragraph is what? Black, color is black, and this is blue. Okay, because I have given this paragraph style differently. So this is followed by this UL. Okay, this is preceded by UL, so that anything, this the paragraph which is preceded by UL will have the color as color as blue. Okay, so this is all about adjacent selector. Okay, and attribute selector means, so this selector belongs to anchor tags that have H reference. Okay, so this an anchor tag which has the H reference as this one, I'm styling that background to be green. Okay, you please go and have a practice on this in your text editor. Okay, I hope you are following with me. Attribute selector means, so here anchor element has an attribute H reference. That too H reference which is of this value alone, the particular style gets applied. Okay, and one more about background and border. Okay, so to change the background of any element, we can go for background. Okay, so background is the background colon. So here this is nothing but the color. Okay, so we can specify either the name directly or in hexadecimal values we can mention it. Okay, pound symbol, 6 digits are there. Okay, RGB. So okay, FF maximum value, all 6 zeros to minimum value all 6 zeros to maximum value 6F. Okay, so within that we can mention the color. This is one color and background color and color. So default instead of background color we can mention background also, that is right. And color means the text color, and you can also give images to the background using the syntax like this: URL, the value of the value here as URL. So body, background, colon. So here instead of the color I am using the URL value, I am giving the link. Okay, so here is an example for that. Okay, so I have commented it, so you could uncomment it and have a test in your editor. So background URL is some image I am giving it. Okay, that image will be applied to this which element? Body element. Okay, so here background of this body to be pink I have given, that's what I have commented remaining. Otherwise if you comment this one and if you uncomment this one, means the body of the background will be changed to this image. And some more rules also there. Background hyphen repeat is no repeat. No repeat means if the image is not able to fill the entire body, means if it is of smaller in size. Okay, if I mention no repeat, means only one image will be displayed. So if I use a repeat, means the images will be repeated all over the body part. Okay, and here are some of ways of giving the colors. H1 color is equal to the other way of giving the color in this manner also: RGB. A stands for alpha. Okay, RGB A value. So here 0.8, it means its opacity. So how strong, how transparency of this color. Okay, so this combination will have transparency. It takes the value from 0.0 to 1.0. so if I give the whole one value, means it displays as it is its value. If I make changes in this value, means the opacity gets changed. Okay, the contrast of the color will be little fade, something like that. Okay, we can mention the color like this also. And I have commented some of the things. You can remove the comment and you can uncomment and have a test over these things in your browser. Okay, in your text editor. So border of H1 is 2 pixel. Solid means with it's like a box. Okay, so solid, dotted, dash, so many things are there that we'll be seeing in the forthcoming topics. And RGB means RGB means that color alone. I'm mentioning it without mentioning the opacity. Okay, so this is another this is H1 background. RGB is this color. Okay, so there are different ways of mentioning the colors using the function RGB, RGBA, or directly the pound symbol 6 values, or if you are familiar with the names like black, white, red, green, those things also you could mention it. Okay, this is a quite interesting topic. The one thing is you need to practice it. Okay, so please practice it, whatever the topics I have covered, each and everything without missing it. Practice it, then only it will be familiar for you. Okay, so based on the things we have discussed, I have given few assessment. Have a look and complete it. Okay, I'll meet you in the next session. Till then, thank you all.